concise form. Now, what do I want to show? Yeah. First step in doing a research paper, you go to Scholar. See, as soon as I typed S, the whole thing appeared. All I have to do is just click on it, Google Scholar, and then, you give me some keywords. I want you to, give me some keywords about the topic that you're interested in. Some of the topics that were touted today in class, such as what? Remind me.
I think Seaman, the
Seaman?
novel,
Sorry?
the man who hunted a tuna fish.
Oh, the Old Man and the Sea.
Ah, the old man in the sea.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's called. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, the Old Man and the Sea, for instance. Let's see what has been written. This is Scholar, Google Scholar. So it gives you whatever was written about it. Okay. Now, the first thing you should look at is the year number. The more up to date, the better. So 1995, that's 30 years ago. Certainly not 1955. That's way too old. 2008, yes, better. Certainly better. That's how many years ago? 12, 17. But you scroll down. Maybe there's something better. Not 1960, 62, 55, 1970. Yeah,
There's one
I mean,
2016,
where?
like up a little bit.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
missed that.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, and it looks, Journal of Leadership Studies. Okay, great. So let's see. Now that's one thing. That's one thing. Of course, if you write the title of something that is famous, as Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea, you'll end up with so many entries. Actually, how many is there a count? Look, 6 million. 6.5 million almost. So yeah, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and then next. So yeah, maybe so you can narrow down the research, because you have so many works on so many different disciplines. Maybe something along the lines of what? What are you interested in? Sociology? Whoever volunteered this title. I actually wanted somebody to volunteer like the specific area, not just the title, but what is it that you're interested in writing about? So let's use another keywords, by the way. These are keywords, okay? Whatever you enter here is very important in order to find something that definitively relates to your idea of research. Right. Can you remind me of what some of your proposals were about that we discussed in class? Anybody? What was your proposal about? So that we can find some keywords for them.
Yeah,
I
so
can.
can I good
Please.
can I go?
Please, Leali.
Yeah.
Yes.
So me and Layla, our proposal is about parenting teenagers.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
Parenting. And we decided not teenagers, I recommended, but maybe.
Yeah, in general, but we took like a sample of teenager like age. Yeah.
Okay. So, and teenage probably yields more results.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something as slight as teenagers. Let's try both, okay? Parenting teenagers. How many results? 500,000, 506, and so on. Now, if we are to just write teenage, see the difference? Oh, no, I included psychology. Sorry. Teenage only on its own. A little bit more, 562, because teenage happens more in more articles. So end up with 50,000 more, okay? So just be aware of that. The more keywords you try, the best, okay? So teenage, let's add the RS. Psychology came in there. Adolescent. Remember when I suggested Layali and Layla? I said adolescent,
Yeah.
you know, and it's kind of
Yes.
like after the puberty period. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, look at this. I mean, that's what somebody has been interested in looking at. Okay, so keywords are
Yeah, and that what we
also
wrote about. Yes.
very legit. So let's hit this and see what articles we have. Again, recency. Now look at this. This is cool. Since 2005, 2025, or since, this is all good. And look at this even, 2021. Now, the way that journals now publish, and I know this is a little bit advanced from your current level, they focus on the last 5 years of research. You need to include at least 20%, 10% at least of your bibliography list that has been published in the last 5 years. So this is fine since 2021. Okay. Now, before, how many? Now we ended up with 17,500. Okay, results. What was it before that? Let me just go back one click. Look, 312. So if I click this again, that's a fraction of 312. Okay, since 2021. Everything here is published. Look at this, 2022, 2022, 2021, 2023, and so on and so forth. Now, you can also, now if you scroll down, you have tens of entries. Another trick to use is Control if you have a laptop. I hope you do. And if you don't, you can go to the library and use it. Yeah, so let's say on this specific page, for instance, you're interested in what? Adolescent, okay? And it all comes up here. Well, actually it does, yeah, but some of them don't actually. See, these do not have adolescents in there, and this, the word T. See, there's adolescence, but not adolescent with the T as an adjective. Right, some titles don't have it. They have adolescence. Again, this one doesn't. So again, if you want to choose the specific kind of keywords, the more gauged, narrowed keywords, the best for your research. Now, if we look at any of these, now I prefer journals something. If scientific reports, I'm not sure. And sometimes you may end up with Spanish, Italian, whatever, but it's mostly English, I think. Sometimes, at least I used to, but I'm just saying. So, right, seminars, avoid seminars. And well, it's in the medical field. So that's maybe okay, but usually seminars, conferences are less on the academic ladder. Journal of something, fine. Actually, what I can do is just type journal. See? African journal. It's a journal, international journal, journal of education. Yeah, this is kind of good. You know, not to put down what is published in Africa, but usually in the West is best, I think. Now the trick is that, and again, probably this doesn't relate to your whether Africa or Asia, by the way, and in the third world, not necessarily the best of education. But I'm not generalizing, of course, but you know, sometimes there are predatory journals. إيش يعني predatory journals؟ يعني they just want money to publish, and they're of no academic value. And again, I'm not referring to only Africa, but could be in India, could be in Malaysia, anywhere. Yeah, Indonesia, other countries. Yeah. But again, the name of the game now is you pay for journals. What is it? To be Q1. Journals pay to be in Q1. There's Q1, Q2, and then Q3 and 4. That's less in terms of importance. Now the Q1 depends on the number of citations, the number of quotes, and so on that is borrowed from the journal. But sometimes it's like also a group of people who quote from each other. So 5 or 6 people collaborate, and one publishes something, the other publishes something, and they quote from each other. So it's kind of a trick that is not totally um, moral, to be honest. But so this is why sometimes it's well-known journals such as, you know, Oxford University Press's journal, or Purdue, or Ivy League schools, other Ivy League schools such as Yale and so on, Harvard for sure, uh, don't even care for accreditation. But now, sadly, most Arab universities run after paying money to get accreditation, and it's based on sometimes you know, not very wise criteria, such as sometimes um, you know, asking teenagers to assess a certain journal. So anyway, so it's some of it is questionable. Anyway, so yeah, if we click on one of these, I like this Journal of Education, the year of publications 2022, adolescence and academic well-being, parents, teachers, and students' perceptions. Now, it depends on what you want, Ya Layali and Layla. So is it the parents' perspective? Is it the students' perspective? And when one says teachers, the school as well. Do you want to include schools and the role of the
Well,
teacher and so on?
we
See,
included only parents.
thank you. And so
Yeah.
this is not entirely relevant, you see. So I think sometimes there is such a thing as, if you write, and these are tips that I learned over time. So I wish this would go away. Okay, yeah, you exclude teacher. Okay, so it shouldn't turn up in your research, I think. Well, that's a trick I learned from a long time ago, but I think it's not working. So it's the same number of journals here. So yeah, you just have, you know, this is the best that you can get. These four, a cluster of words, 3 or 4 is the best that you can, the closest you can get to writing your research. So you're just gonna have to go through the list manually, see what you're really interested in. This might be good, right, Layali? Single parenting, impact on child's development, which is actually an interesting area because of
Yeah.
research, because especially in the West, and maybe here in our Middle East as well,
Community. Yeah.
single parenting, and you have so many divorcees, you know, that are taking care of, and so they're single parents. Of course, in-laws and grandparents and so on do help, but it's just mind-boggling, the skyrocketing divorce rates. I mean, yeah. So this might be a thing that you might be interested in because it doesn't mention teachers and schools and so on. I move to the next page now. Parental beliefs about childhood and adolescence from longitudinal perspective. Okay, not sure what longitudinal means in this term, but you know, over a period of time is what they mean. One would have to go to it to find out what do they mean by longitudinal. But again, I think it focuses on parents alone, not other people. So next step would be to go to the abstract, okay? Research into family context as a socializing agent, points and so on, to take parental beliefs into account due to the role they play in both parenting strategies and ultimately in the psychosocial adjustment of children and adolescents. So I mean, this seems interesting, definitely. What role should educated parents play in order to nurture their children on a psychologically and socially healthy environment to be productive members of the society? Right. Now, so you like this and you thought, oh, I'm going to give it a read, a glimpse, always glimpse. Now, I stopped here. I didn't read the whole thing because I have like so many, I mean, look, 17,000. How am I going to sort through these out? You know, so you really need to prioritize. You don't need to read everything. Don't waste time. Just skim through, and yeah, ask for God's blessing, I guess. Right, and again, you read here and so on. Now, some articles, it's fortunate that it's all of it is available on Google Scholar. Now, most often they are not. They are not. So if we just, you know, look at this one to see whether it's available on Google Scholar, Give it a moment. I don't know what is happening. Maybe the server of that particular page is not cooperating. Let's choose another one. Only chat, psychological control, and so on. Frontiersin.org. Okay, let's see this one. Right. Okay, it is lengthy judging by this, so it probably is available on Google Scholar as well. Yes, it seems to be. Yeah, it is available. Okay, how about this one? This one is not. This is the second one that took some time to emerge. Right, now, and the price for it is $17.95. So yeah, you couldn't find it. So what you can do is copy. And again, I'm teaching research skills. So this is how you can acquire the material. So go to JStore. Okay. And paste the title that I just copied, and click on this. Hopefully it'll emerge. Not all the time. Nope, it's not there. Assessing critical dimensions of the parent. Yeah, so they're pretty nice. Now there is some illegal site that I don't recommend you use, but you know, I think it's called Scientific Hub something. Yeah, there it is, Sci-Hub. It's illegal. It is based off of Russia, I think. I don't recommend you use it. Okay, this is illegal, but you know, that's your choice, but it's there. Now, what? Okay, where do I enter URL or do DOI? So maybe here the, no. Maybe it got banned for some reason. Box, sci. Oh, the RU maybe is the thing? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is the one that my student forwarded to me. Maybe this is the thing that needs to go. I don't know. Yeah. Open. Maybe this is the button. Open. No. Anyway, so yeah, let's just forget about this site. Although, yeah, just forget about it. So if you couldn't find it on JStore, by the way, you can end up with something very similar. So assessing critical dimensions of parent-adolescent, okay? Yeah, families of adolescent suicide attempters, a little bit far, but, it's mostly interested in the same topic. So adolescents and autism, attitudes towards Muslims among majority youth in Norway, okay? But yeah, you end up with so many articles, actually not so many, only 358. But again, this is another venue for you